This bizarre discovery shocked scientists, but what came next left them even more stunned. A group of boys hunting for rabbits on Arthur's Seat, the rocky hill that looms over Edinburgh, stumbled upon something eerie. Hidden inside a small cave, stacked neatly in rows, were 17 miniature coffins. Each was about 4 inches long, made of wood, and contained a tiny, fully dressed human figure. The boys, startled by their discovery, reportedly destroyed some of the coffins before adults took notice. The surviving ones have puzzled researchers for nearly 2 centuries. Who placed them there, and why? Some believe the coffins were part of a forgotten ritual, possibly linked to witchcraft or an ancient burial practice. Others have suggested a more chilling theory. The discovery came just a few years after the infamous Burke and Hare murders, when 2 men killed 16 people in Edinburgh and sold the bodies to a medical school. Could these tiny figures be symbolic burials for their victims, an attempt to grant them peace in death? Tests on the wood revealed that the coffins were likely placed there over several decades, meaning the maker may have returned to the spot again and again to add more. Some figures were dressed in clothes stitched from fabric that had already started to decay, suggesting they were old before being sealed inside their tiny tombs. The attention to detail is unsettling. Someone cared enough to carve these figures, dress them, and carefully place them in their final resting place. But no records, no confessions, and no clear evidence have ever revealed the truth. Scattered across ancient Mesoamerican ruins, strange circular stone rings have left archaeologists questioning their true purpose. These rings, often mounted high on temple walls or freestanding in ceremonial sites, are commonly thought to be remnants of the ancient Mesoamerican ballgame. But some researchers believe there's more to them than just sport. Theories have emerged suggesting that these structures may have had an entirely different function, one tied to energy, sound, and possibly even something more mysterious. Unlike typical game equipment, some of these rings seem oddly placed, positioned in ways that make their use in a ballgame nearly impossible. Their precise symmetry in the materials used, limestone, granite, and even traces of mica, have raised suspicions that they could have been part of an unknown technology. Mica, a mineral with insulating properties, has been found in other Mesoamerican sites, including the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan. Could these rings have been used to channel energy, perhaps even working in conjunction with the pyramids themselves? Some researchers have tested the acoustic properties of these rings and found that they amplify sound in ways that seem too intentional to be a coincidence. Chanting, clapping, or even the natural sounds of wind passing through them create eerie resonances, almost like an ancient sound system designed to amplify ritualistic voices or messages. This raises even more questions. Were they instruments of communication, ritual devices, or something entirely different? For decades, the vast desert plains of southern Peru have concealed one of history's most puzzling mysteries: the Nazca lines. Massive figures of animals, humanoid shapes, and geometric patterns stretch across the arid landscape, some spanning over 600 feet. They can only be fully seen from above, leading to endless speculation about how and why they were created. And just when researchers thought they had mapped them all, modern technology revealed something astonishing. In recent years, artificial intelligence and high-resolution drone imaging uncovered over 160 new geoglyphs hidden beneath layers of sand and erosion. These newly found carvings are smaller than the famous Nazca figures, but just as detailed, depicting unknown creatures, birds, and twisted humanoid figures with exaggerated limbs. Some designs don't match any known iconography of the Nazca culture, raising the question, who created them? Some of these figures seem deliberately placed in hard-to-spot areas, as if meant to be seen only from certain angles or under specific conditions. The level of precision and scale involved in their creation suggests knowledge of advanced surveying techniques, yet they were made long before modern tools existed. Theories range from religious or astronomical significance to messages for the gods, or something else entirely. The most haunting thought? There may still be hundreds more waiting to be uncovered, slowly fading beneath centuries of dust. And this isn't the only place where something massive and forgotten has just been brought to light. Thousands of miles away, deep within Mexico's jungles, another lost wonder is finally emerging. For centuries, the ruins of Maya civilization have been swallowed by thick jungle, their stone temples overtaken by roots and vines. Many ancient cities remain undiscovered, hidden beneath layers of foliage. But in 2024, a breakthrough came with the discovery of Valeriana, an unknown Maya city in the heart of Mexico's Campeche region. Using LIDAR technology, a scanning method that cuts through dense vegetation, archaeologists uncovered over 6,500 structures including towering pyramids, plazas, and a massive ceremonial complex. This wasn't just a small settlement, it was a major political and cultural center, one that had been completely forgotten. Unlike other Maya sites, Valeriana's layout suggests a unique architectural style not commonly found in the region. Its structures align with celestial patterns, hinting at a deep connection between the city's builders and the stars. Strangely, no records mention Valeriana in known Maya texts, and researchers are still unsure why such a significant city vanished. Some speculate war, drought, or an internal collapse. Others believe the answers may still be buried beneath the jungle, locked inside temples and tunnels yet to be explored. With so much still unknown, the discovery of Valeriana raises an unsettling thought. If a city of this scale remained undetected until now, what else is still hiding, waiting to be found? Perhaps some of those secrets are not buried in forests but deep beneath the desert sands of Egypt, where a lost tomb of a forgotten pharaoh has finally been unearthed. The deserts of Egypt have long concealed secrets of the past, and just when it seemed that all the great pharaohs' tombs had been found, something remarkable emerged from the sands. In early 2025, archaeologists uncovered the long-lost tomb of Pharaoh Thutmose II, a ruler of Egypt's 18th dynasty whose final resting place had remained a mystery for centuries. Hidden in a remote section of the Theban necropolis, the tomb's entrance had been sealed for over 3,000 years, untouched by looters or explorers. Inside, researchers discovered crumbling wall carvings, faded but still depicting the king's reign, rituals, and celestial journey into the afterlife. But something was missing: Thutmose II himself. His sarcophagus was there, but it was empty. The discovery raises more questions than answers. Thutmose II ruled for only a short time, overshadowed by his wife Hatshepsut, who later declared herself pharaoh. His mummy had previously been found in the 19th century, among a collection of royal remains hastily relocated in ancient times. But why had his original tomb been abandoned? Some scholars believe political struggles may have led to its desecration, while others think priests deliberately moved his body to protect it. The artifacts found inside, ceremonial weapons, jewelry, and inscribed vases, suggest an elaborate burial, one meant for a ruler of great significance. Yet the lack of his remains leaves a sense of something unfinished, a story still waiting to be pieced together. Egypt may hold many more undiscovered royal tombs, but mysterious artifacts are not only found in ancient tombs. Some are hiding in unexpected places, like the remote wilderness of Australia, where strange carvings could rewrite history. In a secluded part of the Australian bush, deep among the sandstone formations of the Hunter Valley, an unsettling discovery continues to puzzle researchers. The Gosford glyphs, as they are known, are a series of strange carvings etched into rock, carvings that bear an uncanny resemblance to Egyptian hieroglyphs. Some believe these markings, which appear to show pharaohs, boats, and symbols of the afterlife, are evidence of ancient Egyptian contact with Australia, a possibility that challenges everything we know about early exploration. If real, it would mean seafarers from the Nile made the treacherous journey across the ocean thousands of years ago, long before Europeans ever set foot on the continent. Skeptics argue that the glyphs are a hoax, carved in modern times, but geologists have examined the weathering on the carvings and found that some markings appear significantly older than previously thought. If they are genuine, then who created them? Could an unknown civilization have left behind traces of a lost language? Could shipwrecked travelers from ancient Egypt have found themselves stranded in this land and left their story behind in stone? The truth remains buried beneath layers of time, and until new evidence emerges, the Gosford glyphs remain one of the most controversial and unexplainable discoveries in Australia's history. Yet they are not the only ancient markings that defy explanation. Deep in the rocky cliffs of Texas, a 4,000-year-old painting stretches across the walls of a shallow cave, its faded pigments still holding on to a mystery that refuses to fade. The White Shaman mural, one of the most enigmatic rock art sites in North America, depicts strange humanoid figures with elongated bodies, outstretched arms, and hollow eyes. Some appear to be floating, surrounded by swirling lines and symbols. Researchers have long debated its meaning. Was it an early form of storytelling, a vision of gods, or something else entirely? The local Huichol people believe the mural represents a shaman's journey between worlds, a spiritual vision recorded in stone. But others have noticed eerie similarities between these figures and modern descriptions of extraterrestrials. The tall, otherworldly shapes resemble beings seen in ancient cave art across the world, from Australia to Africa. Some researchers suggest the mural depicts an encounter, one where ancient people witnessed something they couldn't understand, and painted it the only way they knew how. The mural's placement, hidden within a rugged canyon, and its alignment with celestial events only add to the mystery. Were these figures gods, spirits, or visitors from beyond? No one knows for sure, but just as the White Shaman mural raises questions about strange beings in the past, a shocking discovery in Wyoming suggests something equally bizarre, this time in the form of an unexplainable mummy. High up in Wyoming's San Pedro Mountains, two gold prospectors made a discovery that defied logic. Inside a small cave sealed behind a thick wall of rock, they found a tiny mummified body, sitting upright as if watching them. The figure was no more than 14 inches tall, with a strangely shaped skull, flattened nose, and deep, lifeless eyes. At first, some believed it was a hoax or the remains of an infant, but X-ray scans revealed something shocking. This was no ordinary child. The skeleton had fully formed adult features, including a complete set of teeth. Some experts estimated that if alive, the being would have stood barely 2 feet tall. Local Native American legends speak of tiny people known as the Nemerigar, who lived in the mountains and were said to be fierce warriors. Could this mummy be proof that the legends were real? Some researchers have suggested that the remains belong to an individual with a rare genetic condition, but the body's perfectly preserved state and unusual bone structure challenge that explanation. Adding to the mystery, the mummy vanished from public view after being privately owned for years, leaving only X-rays and photographs as evidence of its existence. What exactly was found in that cave? Was it an unknown species, an ancient deformity, or something stranger? Without the original remains to study, the truth may never be known. But mysterious beings, whether painted on cave walls or sealed in stone tombs, are not the only baffling discoveries. Sometimes it's not a body that raises questions, but a structure itself, built by unknown hands for a purpose no one can explain. Deep in the rolling hills of Ohio, a massive winding mound stretches nearly 1,300 feet across the landscape. Its sinuous curves resemble a serpent uncoiling, its head pointing toward the setting sun on the summer solstice. The Great Serpent Mound is one of the most mysterious earthworks in North America, built thousands of years ago. But by whom and why remains an open question. Unlike burial mounds scattered across the Midwest, this structure contains no human remains. Its builders left no written records, no inscriptions, no clear evidence of its true purpose. For years, archaeologists debated its origins. Some believed the Adena people who lived in the area around 800 BC created it. Others pointed to the later Fort Ancient culture around 1000 AD, but radiocarbon dating has yielded conflicting results, leaving its exact age uncertain. Some researchers believe the mound aligns with celestial events, possibly marking eclipses or tracking planetary movements. Others suggest it was a site for spiritual ceremonies or an offering to a snake deity. Theories have even ventured into the realm of the unexplained. Was it meant to be seen from above, designed for watchers in the sky? The mystery deepens when considering similar serpent effigies found in different parts of the world, suggesting a lost connection between ancient cultures. Though the mound remains intact, time has eroded the clues that could explain its true meaning. Scientists continue to search for answers, but for now, the Great Serpent Mound keeps its secrets buried in the earth. However, some structures aren't buried at all. Some lie hidden beneath the water, unseen for centuries. And in the depths of Lake Michigan, one of the most baffling underwater discoveries has just begun to reveal itself. Beneath the cold, dark waters of Lake Michigan, divers stumbled upon something unexpected, a ring of large stones arranged in a pattern eerily similar to England's Stonehenge. Resting about 40 feet below the surface, the formation had gone unnoticed for centuries, hidden by sediment in the lake's murky depths. But the discovery didn't end there. Among the stones, researchers found something even stranger, a single rock carved with what appears to be an image of a mastodon, an animal that went extinct over 10,000 years ago. If this engraving is genuine, it means the stones were arranged by a civilization that existed during the last ice age, long before recorded history. Who could have built it? What purpose did it serve? Some theorists suggest it was a ceremonial site, a sacred place used by ancient North American cultures for unknown rituals. Others wonder if it could be linked to the countless shipwrecks and legends that surround Lake Michigan. Stories of disappearances, ghost ships, and the so-called Lake Michigan Triangle. Scientists are still studying the site, but investigating underwater structures is no easy task. Unlike land-based ruins, these stones are difficult to access, and shifting sands could be hiding even more secrets. Could this submerged site be evidence of an advanced prehistoric culture? Or is it part of a natural formation mistaken for something man-made? Until more research is done, the answer remains as murky as the waters that conceal it. But one thing is certain: ancient structures, whether buried in the earth or hidden beneath the waves, continue to challenge our understanding of history. And some, like those found in a remote valley in Siberia, may not be ruins at all, but something far stranger. In the remote, desolate wilderness of Yakutia, Siberia, strange metallic structures lie hidden beneath the swampy terrain. Known as the Valley of Death, this region has been the source of chilling legends for centuries. Local hunters and nomadic tribes speak of giant metal cauldrons partially buried in the permafrost, smooth, rounded domes that seem impossibly advanced for their supposed age. Some who have ventured too close claim to have fallen sick afterward, their bodies mysteriously weakened as if the ground itself was radiating an unseen force. The first recorded stories of these structures date back to the 19th century, but they've existed in local folklore for much longer. Some believe the cauldrons are remnants of an ancient weapon system, possibly built by a lost civilization to defend against unknown threats. Others suggest they're connected to something even more bizarre: evidence of extraterrestrial activity. There are accounts of glowing lights and unusual aerial phenomena in the skies above this region, leading some to theorize that these metal domes are linked to UFOs, possibly serving as landing sites or power sources. Attempts to study the cauldrons have been met with frustration. Over the years, multiple expeditions have tried to locate them, but the landscape seems to shift. Some structures that were reported decades ago can no longer be found. Some researchers believe they may have sunk deeper into the marshland, swallowed by time and nature. With permafrost melting due to climate changes, new discoveries could soon emerge. Until then, the Valley of Death remains one of Siberia's greatest unsolved mysteries. But this isn't the only enigmatic metal artifact found in ancient history. Thousands of miles away in China, mysterious jade discs continue to defy explanation. Over 5,000 years ago, long before the rise of Imperial China, an unknown culture crafted hundreds of perfectly carved jade discs. Known as Bai discs, these circular artifacts have been unearthed from burial sites dating back to the Neolithic period. Some are simple and unadorned, while others are covered in intricate carvings, often depicting serpent-like creatures or celestial symbols. The purpose of these discs remains completely unknown. What makes these artifacts so strange is the level of craftsmanship involved. Jade is an incredibly hard stone, difficult to shape even with modern tools. Yet these ancient artisans, who had no access to metal chisels, managed to cut and polish the discs into nearly perfect circles. The precision is almost unnatural, as if whoever made them possessed an understanding of engineering beyond what should have been possible at the time. Even more baffling is the fact that no texts from early China mention their exact purpose. Were they used for ritualistic ceremonies? Were they symbols of power? Or could they have had a more technological function, perhaps even a connection to the sky? Some researchers have drawn comparisons between the Bai discs and similar circular objects found in other ancient cultures, such as the stone rings of Mesoamerica. Theorists have suggested that these jade artifacts may have represented gateways to another world, possibly linked to celestial beings worshipped by early civilizations. There's even speculation that the Bai discs were modeled after something seen in the sky, flying objects, divine wheels, or unknown energy sources. Without written records, their true purpose remains buried in the past. But their discovery forces us to ask, how did an ancient society create such perfect, polished jade objects with tools that should not have been advanced enough? What knowledge did they possess that we no longer understand? In Sichuan, China, archaeologists uncovered something that defied everything known about ancient Chinese civilization: massive golden masks with exaggerated alien-like features. These relics, found in the Sanxingdui ruins, date back at least 3,000 years, belonging to an unknown culture that left behind no written records. The masks are unlike anything from other Chinese dynasties. They have huge, staring eyes, elongated ears, and unnaturally wide faces, looking more like something from another planet than traditional Chinese art. Some of the eyes are bulging and extended, as if trying to depict a being with a non-human perspective. This has led to wild speculation. Were these masks inspired by something real? Something that these ancient people actually saw? Some believe they depict gods or mythological beings, while others suggest something even stranger, evidence of early extraterrestrial encounters. Adding to the mystery, the Sanxingdui civilization completely vanished. No one knows why. They left behind massive, intricate artifacts, but no clues as to where they went. The discovery of these masks challenges the idea that China's earliest cultures were isolated. Could they have had contact with an unknown force? One thing is certain, the Sanxingdui civilization had advanced craftsmanship, an artistic vision far beyond its time, and an obsession with strange, otherworldly faces. What inspired them, and what else remains buried beneath the earth, waiting to change history again? A group of researchers exploring Mount Owen in New Zealand made a discovery that sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Deep within the dark, ancient cave, they uncovered something that should not have been there: a massive, perfectly preserved claw, complete with flesh, muscle, and scales. At first, they thought it belonged to a recently deceased creature, but testing revealed something shocking. The claw was over 3,300 years old. It had belonged to the upland moa, a prehistoric bird thought to have gone extinct long before recorded history. This find raised a chilling question: how was it so well preserved? Moas were flightless, towering birds related to ostriches and emus, but with one key difference: they were believed to have vanished long before humans ever arrived in New Zealand. Yet the claw looked fresh, almost as if the creature had died only a few years earlier. Some even speculated, could small populations of these prehistoric giants have survived much longer than we thought? And if so, could there be other long-extinct creatures still lurking in the unexplored caves, forests, and depths of our world? That's about it. Write in the comments which find surprised you the most. For more useful information, watch other videos.